Last check of the settings. We're live. Hello. Welcome in for round 10 of the Tier 2 season. Just a couple more to go, and we're here in a beautiful wet Mexico for what should provide a very interesting race. In the lobby, as a bit different to usual, as we've got a sprint, so I'll get the drivers to Reddit now. We can go in. Oh, Alex already got an app, beautiful. But yeah, obviously sprint format a bit different to usual, in the sense that we've got one-shot quali followed by the sprint, followed by another one-shot quali that will set the grid for the main race, and then into the main race, all of which is in full wet conditions, so very fun.
Yeah, they don't get many wet tires either, so we'll see what they make of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, apparently from what's being said, apparently they only get 2 wet tires for all of those, so let's see if that's true, or whether that's just a glitch to do with single player lobbies. I know that was the case before, wasn't it? I think where it was a single player issue from when it last got raised. So we'll have to see if that carries through.
I'm not sure what it would do here, but
I mean, if that's the case, and it gives you 2, that's going to be very interesting. But I'd like to think that it's going to give you more. Even so, I mean, like what's happened in the past, I think the wet section at the end of the race might end up going towards inters if that predominant dry line still forms. So that's something we just have to keep an eye out for the race. But at least the sprint, you'd imagine, will be full wets for the majority, or well, for its entirety, not just the majority. And Trent's in the chat. Trent's come to watch the chaos. He's come to. He's a manager sat in the stands. He's watching the opposition. He's watching the track and see what behaves. Look at it, beautiful weather. 20 seconds, people making sure they've got their setup on. I imagine it's just a full wet setup. No gimmicks, obviously no dry conditions, so no need for them to try and accommodate for a mixture of weather like Tier 1 have later. Obviously Tier 1 have a mixture of dry and wet conditions, so there's some kind of balance needed if you want to pick between the two. Cancelo's only just realising it's a sprint. Yes, it is a sprint. Alright, who should we get on board with? If we can get to him, we'll go to Jono, as he's a man who's usually expected to do well in the wet. He bigs himself up in wet conditions. Do you know what? It's Troy. Troy is leading down turn 1. Oh, it's actually Kookaburra, so we'll go on board with Kookaburra.
Oh, he's 14th from 1. I'm on board with him there.
Oh, it's obviously very close. Kookaburra, obviously, as it stands, the highest man still racing in the drivers. Mighty Boo not here again today, so it gives an opportunity for both of the V-Carbs to try something and see if they can nab him. As do you know what? While we watch the laps go on, I'll quickly flick through the standings just so we can get a generic picture of how things are looking. Jono's actually just crept ahead of Kookaburra there. Same with K1, who is known to be good in the way. He was good in China, but yeah, it's Mighty Boo leading the way on 135 points, 24 points then back to Kookaburra, and then a further 12 back, so 36 in total back to Jono in third. Turbo's still in the mix, down on 80, same with Lucas Champion on 79, so who knows what could happen if they could have a good sprint. They might be in the mix, but at the moment, it's looking like it might be K1 going into Sector 3. Lucas Champion doing well as well. John has invalidated his run, yeah, which is big for the championship, because if Kookaburra can just secure a solid result, you've got a bit of a slide going through the stadium there. But if he can just secure a good... Oh, I thought he invalidated there. If he can secure a good grid start and then have a good sprint and then do it again, I mean, that's going to be very good for his chances at the title. And that's K1 then that gets pole in the sprint by just over 2/10 in wet conditions. We said coming into this, don't roll out K1, and he's proven why. Sprint pole by just over 2/10 over Lucas Champion again, who somewhat came out of nowhere. A couple of people choosing inters in these positions, which is a bold one. So it's K1 on pole for the sprint, Lucas Champion P2, Kookaburra P3, Troy securing the lovely P4, and the Mr. Nitro getting P5.
few of them are trying it on Inters as well, interestingly enough.
Yeah, only 2 DSQs as well, but yeah, Inters is one of those ones that you switch to when it's a longer session. Considering it's such a short, one-shot format, I don't think it was really suitable for Inters. But I mean, Laurie's still put at P7, so already starting in the points for the sprint. So we'll see whether he can continue that through. But yeah, K1 on pole. Reece, you literally said earlier, do not underestimate K1.
Of course, the one big thing though for this with John O'Bading is it only impacts the sprint this game. Last game that would have put him, well, depending how many space he made up in the sprint, of course, that would have impacted his position.
So somewhat he can just he can just rule out the sprint, but obviously he's already behind Kookaburra, and Kookaburra's starting P3, so he needs to kind of have some form of gain on his teammate if he wants to push forwards to Mighty Boo, because it's advantage Kookaburra then going into the sprint to see how many points he can get over his teammate in this first section of point scoring. And if K1 can bring the sprint home, obviously last time he dominated in the wet was in China at the start of the season, and it all fell apart as the race went on. I think he still ended up on the podium, didn't he? I think he got P3. But
I'm trying to think if he dropped further with a puncture, or if he dropped just off the podium.
But away we go then, 5 lights. And it's K1 away cleanly, but Lucas Champion's trying to push up and past him, and he is. Past him, Lucas Champion soaring up to P1.
Kookaburra's level as well, and potentially ahead of him.
Yeah, K1's had a stinker, But down into turn 1, Lucas Champion covers him off though. Ooh. Nano's trying to get involved with K1 as well, and P4 behind. First race for Nano, obviously, as a full-time Alpine driver. Oh, we got I think that's Troy off the track. Yeah, Troy off the track. We've got a collision behind as well. Who was that? Oh, it's Turbo. Yeah, Turbo's all the way back to last. Jacob Mycon has dropped to 14th as well, and contact between him and Chesney. Chesney's starting these on the Inters as well. So this is very interesting, the choice of tyres. I mean, I'll have a quick look to see what people are doing. Yeah, Chesney the only one that's opted to go onto the Inters, as we've got
Lucas
another
Champion's in the wall as well. He's dropping right to the back of the grid.
Has he got damage? Well, he's last anyway, but I mean, I don't know what happened at the front there, but that means Kookaburra is clear at the front, and whether there's contact between him and Kookaburra, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment then, it's Kookaburra P1, K1 second, Nano P3, with reserve driver Bradis tucking in P4, so good start to his stint in HR for him.
Very solid start, just coming and do it at P4 in the sprint as well.
Yeah.
Not the easiest one to jump straight into, to be fair to him.
Yeah, obviously there are a couple of new drivers floating around, and it's not the best weather to have your first race in HR. Full wet Mexico. No easing off, obviously. Just based on the nature of the wet in this game, we'd expect the rain to ease off slightly towards the end of the race, or for people to be able to opt for Inters in the second stint. But yeah, in terms of just pure conditions, it's going to be wet as Glory's going for a move on Chesney here. They try and go side by side through turn 2, contact between the pair. Chesney's forced off track actually, and Turbo's sensing an opportunity. Yeah, through goes then on Chesney, trying to make the double overtake as well. Past Laurie, trying to go around the outside. Obviously, Laurie reserving for what is second place in the standings up against Turbo. Oh, and Turbo's gone very deep, and they're both in the wall. Yeah. And Turbo's reset the track, isn't he? By the looks of things, yeah. I mean, he just overshot that completely, straight into the path of Laurie and sent them both into the wall. So I imagine that would be something that gets looked at by the stewards. But that's painful in the sprint, because that's just sprint done already, really, isn't it? Both of them, I think, have damage. I might be wrong, but I think both of them have damage. It's Geordie then, the first man to pick up 3 seconds.
I think from practicing, obviously we've got the interconditions, but I would expect to see a had of a lot of penalties. So not the easiest place to keep it in the line too.
That's freed up some air for Chesney though, although he's got a bit of a train behind him. Lucas Champion 3 seconds as well.
He might be struggling with damage though, isn't he? So we just see what happens here, and not he dives into the pits. He's going to stay out and continue.
Yeah. Oh, Alex hasn't had and completely missed what happened to Lucas Champion. So we don't know. We were watching something at the back, and he was in the wall. So I don't know if there was a collision with Kookaburra K1 or whether he's just spun by himself. But in amongst all this, though, John has made it up to P8, so already scoring points in the sprint. But his teammate, as said earlier, who he needs to try and outscore, is currently sat in the lead. Then scoring 7 more points as things stand. Clip said, can we turn off the ads? I mean, yes. Oh, contact as well. I don't know if John has got damage from that. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I mean, we could turn off ads, yes, but the HR would like to be a profitable enterprise. So I'm afraid not.
The lorry's gone to Inters in the pit stop, because obviously the second they had, if he went to wet, he would have used both wet tyres to some degree before he got to the main race.
Yeah.
So we'd have to start the race on a new set. I think that's likely. Not sure about it to get a penalty.
It's going to be painful, because I feel like if anyone gets penalties in this sprint, it's going to rule them out of point, any kind of point position. So Nitro currently sit P6, but with four cars in very close proximity to him, it looks like it could be over for him.
John trying to get a move down here in sector 3, just about keeps it in limits, it looks, but yeah, again, he's going to move ahead into the final corner.
Yeah. Kookaburra still ahead of K1, and it's worth saying that Kookaburra wasn't going to race today. This man is low on sleep, but he's managed to power through and race today, and it's looking like it was the right decision, because it looks like he's got K1 in his pocket for now. You watch Jonna then trying to move on Johnny Cindy, who's hanging around the outside, so Johnny Cindy's still here. Contact between the pair. Jonna tries to force his way back through, and they're still side by side. I think he's just going to get the move done. Yeah, he does. So the Johnny Cindy goes from a dive down just into sector 2.
Too far back,
yeah, I think it's better off it as well. See, Kevin Castle's showing low on fuel. I don't know if that's if there's anyone else showing low on fuel.
Yeah,
no.
in Gremic as well.
Gremic, yeah. So there's only 2 then showing low on fuel. I assume they're just hoping for a safety car. I hope that the rain will naturally be able to tick their fuel rate down. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on. As Gingy Cindy is the next to pick up at 3 seconds. Nitro surely picks up another warning when I just go and bulb them there as well. What's happening at the front now? So we've just broken away. I've just realised the gap then between the top 2 and then Nano. So Nano's completely lost track, really, of K1 and Kookaburra. 4.2 seconds adrift now already. So not really holding up people behind drastically. Obviously, Bradders is the closest to him, but he's 5/10 back. So, and then it's Troy, then a further 1.3 back. So nothing crazy in terms of a trained foreman behind Nano. But Bradders might actually be looking for a move here. Troy's going to get some water on his tyres as well. Nitro gets past Troy, but he's obviously got that 3 second hanging over his name as well.
Well, that's soft, interesting. K1's got quite a bit more ERS than Kookaburra to try get something done on track.
Ooh, contact as well for the back between Lucas Champion and Geordie. Lucas Champion went sideways with a bit of contact. Chesney trying to get involved, but Lucas is just going to survive and hang on to P12, but with that penalty, obviously, it's really going to compromise any kind of points that he'd be looking to score after that good one-shot quali lap that he put in.
I think this is what's going to be nice for the front two, is they've got that 3-second gap back should they get a penalty.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to end up missing out. I know it's only a sprint race, but you don't want to miss out on a sprint winner over a penalty.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He gets you on top 2. Oh! Lucas Champion Geordie make contact.
Yeah, Geordie was sideways going through that corner there. Bradders picks up a 3 seconds, so that gives Nano a bit of breathing room as well, should he get past.
And he's going to go for a move here into the half pin. I think he's going to be ahead, but this is what we saw earlier, where then I think somebody had the inside line after, and yeah, you can't quite make it stick when you get on the outside there, it seems.
Yeah, Chesney's trying to get involved as well. Look at this, 3 cars all scrapping for the back end, well, just outside of the top 10. No points obviously for these positions, as they're 4.7 seconds adrift. It looks like Lucas Champion's finally going to get the move done. Yeah, no ERS left, but yeah, move up towards the front with Nano finally getting passed by Bradders. Look at this train. Okay, I've said Nano didn't have a train, but this is fully a Nano train now. Everyone pinched back together. Bradders now leading this, with Nano burning to try and get back past. Okay, and he makes a stick.
John would lovely favour as well. John has got right to the back of this.
Yeah.
To see if he can try to get involved in here. But Bradders, I think, is going to get back through into the 2 right.
Oh, contact between the pair.
Yeah.
I think I mean, it depends if Nano tries to back out. It doesn't look like he is. He gets the apex, but Bradders around the outside, gets the move to stick. And it looks like he's just going to run away now, because Nano doesn't look like he's that comfortable in these conditions right now. Look at this scrap then for the final position on the sprint podium. Got 6-7 cars in the scrap. It's all the way back to Kevin Cowell in ninth. So you've got 6 cars fighting for P3 effectively. I mean, I know you've got Brothers Junior Cindy Nitro slightly out of the picture of the penalty, but in terms of on-track action, 6 cars all within a space of about 2 seconds.
It's got a huge gap to the front two as well.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. So it was around 4 seconds before all this happened, and then this intense scraps then put that lead all the way up to 9.1. It's likely to go up even more. I mean, Brothers has ran away with it a bit, so I don't know if that gap will go down, but John is really going to try and stick it on Nano as well. Starting lap 7 here. Yeah, gets the moves done on Nano, so it's now Junior Cindy up next to see if he can dispatch of Nano to move up the grid, but obviously, yeah, with that penalty, it's going to move them back.
I think these are the ones, if he can keep it as defensive leader and just defend a couple of laps from them, with their penalties as well, he'll know he'll jump back ahead of them.
Yeah. Especially these two that are next up track for him. Brothers, he just needs to stay in touch with him, but yeah, Nano is still looking good for a very good point scoring run here in the sprint. Getting very close up front as well between the top two. I don't know if it's worth having a quick look at warnings as Turbo. I mean, he's at the back, but he gets to 3 seconds as well. So that's now 6 drivers with penalties to their name.
Troy the latest as well.
Oh, that's painful for him as well. And he's right within this scrap as well. But just in terms of ERS usage, both of the front two very frugal with their usage of ERS. Different lines through the final corner. K1's going for a bit of a surge, I think. Both very high still on their ERS, so it's going to be interesting when it gets the final lap or two as John sets the fastest lap behind, whether he's going for a push on Bradders. I'll go back on board with John to see if he gets the move to stick, and he does. Down the inside into turn 1. So look, they've already dropped Nano by 1.2 seconds. Oh, and Bradders trying to stick with that actually into turn 2. It gets it back, so well in from Bradders to make that move stick. He's got the penalty obviously, so no real need for him to just let him go and wave him by. He's just thinking that track position is key at this point.
I think with how penalties coming, you never know who's going to get another one. Like,
yeah.
I've just checked the front 2 warnings. They've got one each of the K1s as a collision warning.
Okay.
But K1's caught right to the back of Christopher here.
Yeah.
You can get a run out of the aspects, and he might be able to get a move down.
Oh, Kookaburra is a bit out of shape, but K1 took a bit of a narrow line. I think that compromises exit. Still advantage Kookaburra for now. In terms of ERS, I think Kookaburra has used a bit more this lap as well. Oh, says it wants the mini map. Yeah, I can certainly do that.
I think this is the closest they've been together. Kookaburra's had a moment as well into the final corner. So
yeah, this could be it. Considering
K1 has a good run here.
K1's got the ERS advantage as well. 98% before he came onto that straight to try and burn it, but
he stopped draining it, interesting. If I was him, I would be looking in here to try to get moved down. Although Kookaburra's emptying his battery.
Yeah, he's completely gone down all the way down to 30%. 40% less than K1 currently has.
Jacob Lycand is in the wall as well. I don't think he's got damage, but contact between him and Turbo.
Oh no.
Further back.
Look at this train in the points. John is then back ahead, and I think that move's stuck for now then, yeah, so John is back ahead, and he's made it stick through the first 2 corners on Bradders.
Ferrari's making slight contact there as well.
Troy trying to pounce to get involved as well. Yeah, Nitro they're down to 11th after that, obviously with that penalty as well, though. A bit of a shame for him, so it's worth saying that this gamble for Inters does not work precisely. Currently sat down in P12. I'll have a look at position changes. He's up 2, but
the gamble's not worked, but also he's going to save the tyres for the next race. So it's all about the long game for him.
Oh, we got yellow flag towards the back.
But everyone's got going again. That might have been. I think that was Jordan, but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, I guess the one thing Chesney might have done is literally look to where he qualified, and then saw he was outside the points, and then realised, you know, there's not much to fight for. So I'll just chuck the inters on and save that set of wets for the main race, so he's got a fresh set. In case there's any kind of incident in the main race, that allows for the wets down the early stage. As Nano gets the 3-second penalty again, so Is that his first 2-second extra? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first one. I saw as well Nitro and Chesney made contact into sector 3 with Nitro and like because it seemed like Nitro trying to move it wasn't going to stick, but we just see anything comes from that. I think with Chesney though, the track's constantly drying as we go along, so the inches of foot slowly comes. If we just stick to the back of it, he might, with another penalty somewhere, end up getting the point from this. Lucas Champion and Kevin Cowell making contact.
Yeah, contact between Nano and Junior Cindy as Nano went slightly ghosted for a second, and Junior Cindy tried to pounce on that, but nearly went into the wall. Then as Nano unghosted, nearly flicked him into the wall, as Jordy gets another 3 seconds out of the back as well. But Nano holding on then as this is for position. Junior Cindy was looking like he was just going to consign to his P6, but now with a penalty to Nano's name, this is full position then as they both have the 3-second penalty. Lucas Champion's done very well in this race to come all the way back, so I think this is promising for the main race. If he looks at this and thinks he was last at the start of this race after a spin, and he's managed to come all the way back to scoring points in the sprint, I know it's not what he would have wanted points-wise, but
There has to be said as well with Jono not even getting a penalty as it stands. If he can just avoid that, he's going to get third from disqualifying his lap.
Got a penultimate lap as well. In terms of ERS, K1 still has the advantage over Kookaburra up ahead. Half a second is the gap. Then it's 10 seconds back to Jono after this intense scrapping between that 6-car pack that's ranging from P3 down to P9. Chesney's actually caught the back of that train as well. So Chesney might be able to nick a couple of points. Yeah, he's just had
choice
his teammate.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's now getting into interconditions. I wonder if that transition has happened. But I mean, it's been 11 laps, so the Inters would be a bit worn at this stage anyway. But
he's at least going to land a point from Lucas Champion's penalty.
Yeah.
So he's penalty free.
It's a shame for Lucas. After all that, he might miss out, and the gap to Junior Cindy's too big as well. So it's just whether Chesney gets held up with. I
think K1's going to go to the lead. Oh no, he's not going to. He's backed off. He's gone to none the ERS as well.
Yeah, he's saved that though.
Watching him out of the F section. From me, I think that's his opportunity there.
He was very close, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, each time he always gets a better run up here, and then through this section he just seems to.
Oh, he's very close now though. Oh, we've got a bit of compromise on the exit, but he's still very close to Kookaburra here, and Kookaburra's had a moment. Kookaburra sliding. This might be it for K1.
Again, he's just stopped draining. Okay, he's put back on them, but yeah, this is his chance really, and
I think Kookaburra's got him covered for now, yeah. For now anyway, unless Kookaburra has to have a dive to defend against K1, but he doesn't, so he's a bit out of shape as well through turns 2 and 3. I think this could say, it all depends in sector 3 then, like you said before you go into stadium, is whether K1 feels that he gets a good enough run to then full send it into the final few corners before they go into the stadium section. It's very close. This is going to be extremely tight. It all depends on that run through the S's for Kookaburra, whether he can stay ahead of K1. This is setting out very nice for the main race though, I will say that. So you've got Lucas Champion, who's shown very good pace and was unfortunate to get spun, but he was in this scrap. Bradders has shown some decent pace as well. And same with Jono. No, I think that's it then. I think this is Kookaburra going to win the sprint. Manages to fend him off through the S's, unless K1 chooses some crazy dive, which he doesn't yet.
Still got his DRS off, yeah. I think he's just not utilised his DRS here, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I think on another day he could have had this, but it's going to be Kookaburra and then he'll win it.
We've got a yellow flag as well through the S's, but yeah, it's Kookaburra then.
Kevin can out of fuel.
Oh no, yeah, we said about this. But wow, yeah, so that's Kookaburra winning the sprint, K1 with a very impressive P2. Jono then, even though heavily adrift, he then got the fastest lap in the sprint. Obviously he doesn't get a point for that, but bragging rights gets that and P3. Bradders, reserve driver, bringing it home in P4. Junior Cindy P5, Nana drops to P6 after being beaten by Junior Cindy on track after they both had penalties. Lucas Champion then keeps the point, fends off Chesney as well, that was surging forwards on his inters at the end, and then Kevin Callum unfortunately drops out after running out of fuel in the sprint, all the way down to P11. And after all that, 2 reserve drivers in the kick, and they are coming home 15th and 16th. Geordie's left I don't know if he'll be coming back. Hopefully he does come back. Oh, he says the internet's just gone out. That's a shame. That's very bad for Kit, because that means he's done completely. And that's...
This car will be put into the main race so you can get it back.
But that's looking very sketchy for the other two in terms of their chance of beating V-Cub now, with a solid points all coming their way. Double podium in the sprint, so they get 14 points their way, compared to Aston just getting 5 points and then Kit getting nothing. 15th and 16th on track, 0 points, so a painful day for them. There is the whole grid in the sprint, just 12 laps, getting separated by 45 seconds or so. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the main race gets spread out. All depends on the quality, all depends on where people place. Got some like Nani who qualified well, but in the main race, or in the sprint, he just didn't seem to be able to fight with the cars he qualified around. Maybe just a bit of an issue on his race wear on the setup being deployed in the race. But with that done and dusted, we're now on to the secondary one-shot quali now. Oh, I see there's a bit of beef in the chat as well between Laurie and Turbo. And we were on board with that, actually, with Turbo fully sent it. So yeah, I think that will go to the stewards. We'll have to wait and see and watch that one. But yeah, will Kookaburra be able to get involved with the actual pole position that will give them that point? Jono obviously was in the mix as well, but he invalidated his run, so that's something else to bear in mind. Got Lucas Champion around as well. And away we go. We're going board with John and then see. Well, actually, no, we're going board with Kookaburra as he won the sprint, and we'll see what he can do then in the actual qualifying for the main race. Obviously, this will depict the grid here. Geordie's currently P1 on his AI, his OP straight line speed, but yeah, it's Jacob Viking leading through turn 1.
I'm interested to see what Chesney can do, especially because he's kept wet to this. I believe everyone else will be on used wets from what he was
and look at him, yeah, Chesney doing very well initially. P2, Lucas Champion on provisional pole as things stand, going into sector 2, Kookaburra at P4. Things jumping around heavily as well. Oh, and Kookaburra gets a bit out of shape before he goes into the double right. Currently down at P8. So this is not ideal for him in comparison to how his one-shot quali went in the shootout. Gremick doing a very good job as well, currently P2. This Lucas Champion, that looks like he might have it if he can keep this gap through. Oh, and Kookaburra to live. Yeah, Kookaburra's all out of shape. That's putting P9 just dropped below Troy as well. Not a good one-shot lap here for Kookaburra, unfortunately. And what he needed, you know, this is the more important one. Jono's moved up to P2. K1 still in the mix actually for pole. It's very close between the front 4 by the looks of things. But come around into the final corner then. Is it going to be Lucas Champion? Jono's very close as well by the looks of things.
He jumped up a couple of places there. Must have had a solid exit.
Oh wow, Lucas Champion. Out of nowhere, Lucas Champion gets it by like 0.8 of a second. Wow, okay, we need to look at these gaps and see. Yeah, 0.7 of a second. Lucas Champion takes that on the wet tyres, so that might be the key thing. Obviously, John K1 opting for the inters, everyone around them looking for wets as well. But yeah, just well, in that top 5, you've only got 4, or top 6, you've got 4 of them on the wets. Lucas Champion, Gremick, Chesney and Nano, all the rest then choosing for inters, and that's Turbo, unfortunately DSQing his time along with Brad, so the Astons having a stinky one shot and starting at the back, so that's going to be a painful race for them already at the back, but they showed good pace in the sprint, so hopefully they can move forwards for the actual race. Alex saying that was what the sprint pole was, yeah, so I guess that's just the gap then between the wets and the inters. Obviously the two cars closest to Lucas Champion opted for the inters, and then considering it was on a wet track, I guess that's what proves to be the difference. It was still a wet track, so obviously the wet tyres will be the best tyres, so that's why Chesney's strat worked to a degree, and he's starting the main race in a good position, looking good for points.
I assume we'll see everyone go wet at the start, and based on how the Inters were beginning to work towards the end for Chesney, you'd assume it's just going to be a wet Inters race. But obviously, as safety cars add into this, you never know what mixes this up.
Yeah. Yeah. I assume most people, obviously Chesney started the sprint in Inter, so it's whether anyone chooses to follow suit and do that in the main race, but 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go, Lucas Champion obviously on pole. Looks to get a very good start initially over Jono, and the two of them go clear, but Jono's got a good run down to turn 1 as we quickly have a look to see tyres. Yeah, everyone on the wet tyres to start. So you go down to turn 1. Lucas Champion, as the defender against Jono, he looks to make a move, and already Lucas Champion tries to squeeze him out wide. Contact between the pair slightly. Lucas Champion though did very well on holding off for now. As brought K1 back in.
Kevin Cow's been hit towards the wall.
Oh yeah, Kevin Cow fully round as well, so it's painful for him. Already over 6 seconds of drift.
Kookaburra's dropping down the order.
Oh, he's somewhat stabilised though, but yeah, been forced off. He's already got 3-second pen, so it's whether that can come off. But you know, this is why you want to qualify well, especially in the wet, because you're just back in the dogfight here of everyone just scrambling around. But yeah, Kookaburra down in P12 on the start. It's very painful for him after such a good sprint as well. And he's back there with Troy, so yeah, painful for Kookaburra and Troy down in 12th and 13th, but moves happening up the order as well, as there's a bit of contact up ahead between Chesney and Junji Cindy. Junji Cindy looking to make a move actually into the stadium, very deep contact between him and Chesney. Oh, contact again as Chesney comes back at the inside. Very aggressive racing between the pair of these as Turbo and Brad is in amongst all this. Started 15th and 16th, they're up to 7th and 8th, following each other through. I'll cut to the front in amongst all this. Obviously it's a good scrap, but we might have a move up front with Jono. He's used up all his ERS.
Yeah. They will come back quite quickly around here though, but yeah, it's interesting. Almost the opposite approach to K1 that we were seeing last time.
Two abreast.
Trying to get through on Turbo now. It'd be interesting so we can make the stick in the X fit with the inside line, and I think he's going to be ahead. Yeah,
synchronised move from the Astons there. Braddock's getting past Junior Cindy, Turbo getting past Chesney, so Aston's making light work of the competition, cutting through the field. As Gremick then gets ahead of Kookaburra as they dispatch with Nitro as well.
But Kookaburra might have Gremick here, going to have the inside line into the two right-handers. Side by side, Kookaburra slightly ahead, and yeah, Gremick's going to have to drop out of this one.
Yeah, and he does, yeah. Smart racing for now, just realised it's only lap 2, plenty of laps left in this to fight. But look at this, I mean, the Astons have very good pace at this stage of the race. Brad is already right in the back of Chesney, looking for a move going into the stadium section. Around the outside, when he gets bumped off slightly. Contact between the pair, I mean, he's made the move stick. And Johnny Cindy going up the inside as well. And contact between them. Yeah. And he's got
into the wall. Yeah. I don't think either of them took wing damage right.
Oh my god, the glitch between Nitro and Johnny Cindy there, they glitched through each other. Oh my god.
I was say on my screen Nitro is up in the air.
But yeah, that's just all the way down to 14.
Back behind K1 and Lucas Champion for the 2.5 lead up the front.
There's too much to watch. I don't know where to look. There's a scrap happening now as well. The Kookaburra back up to P7 in amongst all this. He pounced on the chaos and he slipped through a couple of cars. The Troy kept trying to get involved as well and swooping past Gremick, and he does, yeah. So Troy then up into the points, up into P9. And Kookaburra looking to try and salvage his race as well after that mistake early on in the race. Yeah, Turbo's off the track there as well, so but the Astons having a very strong race all the way from the back to P5 and P6, so they're definitely contenders already for driver of the day unless anything drastic happens. But we'll quickly have a look through position changes as well just to see, and yeah, that just demonstrates just the charge that the Astons have been on. Both have 10 positions. Jacob Mykend and Laurie also doing well up 3. Your big losers look to be Gremick and obviously Chesney. Kevin Cow down 5 after that spin on lap 1 as well, but he's back with the pack, so we can see what Kevin Cow can do now that he's back in amongst the group. A couple of gaps opening up as well. Again with Nano, just doesn't have the pace to stick with the front. Even though he's qualifying very well in both one-shots and keeping it within the lines, he just doesn't have the pace to stick with the likes of Jono and K1.
He's landing tough in a nice zone though here. At least this time round, he's not got everyone scrapping behind him, and he can just keep it steady here onto a solid point.
I guess for him, it all just depends on the charge of the Astons, whether they're soon knocking up behind him as K1's in the wall. Yeah.
I don't think he's quite made contact with it, but certainly that Jono throw is extra there.
On my screen, it actually looked like he made contact, not heavy contact, but he was fully off the track there. It doesn't. No visual damage.
I was seeing it from Jono's point of view as opposed to K1's way. So.
Yeah, but loses the position there as he was completely out of shape. So K1 very scruffy so far in these opening 4 laps. Lost track of Lucas Champion, now behind Jono as well. Still got the cushion back to Nana though, so it's still looking good for a strong result here for K1. Just interesting watching people's throttles. He's full throttle through all of this. I could never. It hurts my brain looking at that. But yeah, I said that Nana might have to watch out for the Astons, and they are coming. They've knocked a half a second off in this lap alone. So something that Nana will have to watch out in the next coming laps. But flip back to Laurie, obviously carrying the hopes of Kit Kit in the main race. Obviously with Mighty Boo and Emboza both out today.
Jason Lykander and Nitro coming together slightly there into sector 3. I think Jason Lykander said the move that wasn't really ever on. No damage done to either of them.
I wonder if there's going to be any team orders at Aston. Obviously Bradders is a reserve, Turbo the full-time driver. Bradders reserving for Banana, who's absent today, but they're just following each other through. 0.7 seconds back from Turbo is Bradders, but I think they're just quite happy staying in formation for the time being. It's just whether who gets the early pit stop, or if there is a safety car, what happens if they double stack.
Billy Cohen looked like he could have had a run on Jacob Lykander there, but chose to back out the move. But again, he's showing low on fuel. Same with Chesney. A couple more of them in this. Granick is the same. A few of them must be banking on the safety car, then I would assume.
Yeah.
Obviously, more chats in the sprint just naturally this race being almost 3 times a month.
Yeah. 31 laps left to go then of this main race. It'll be interesting to see when people choose to dive into the pits and what tyre. Because obviously it is full wet for the entirety, so you could just say it's going to be simple wet to wet. But as we've said before, just in terms of the formation of a dry line on this game, it is possible to go to the inters at the end or for the final stint. So that's something to watch out for. Is look at the gap up front there. So Jono's still adrift of Lucas Champion, but K1's really lost track of even Jono. 1.5 seconds adrift now of the V card man. I wonder if Laurie's going to get close. I wonder what's going to happen with Kookaburra's warnings in that first lap, because is it on the opening lap he already had 3 seconds? I think it's going to be interesting if that stays.
Almost in sector 2, wasn't it? I think he got given the penalty. So I think we saw a lot of drivers off track at the start, where a lot of them just need to take to the run off, especially in the wet, just to avoid any collision. But
yeah. So yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, he's more than welcome to report that if he has any proof of race director. But from what was seen, I imagine that surely that comes out. I guess it just depends on track limits he gets for the rest of the race, or whether he tips over and then cannot obviously get that removed. So through we go. Laurie lost a bit of track to Kookaburra on this lap as well. Oh, he's actually made a bit of time there, coming through the S's though. Back down to just under 7/10. Everything's stabilised, but we've got close action between Jundu Cindy and Gremick here, just for that last point as well.
Yeah, Jundu Cindy's going to send the move then, going to the inside line, but it's too far back.
Yeah, clean race of Lucas Champion there, fastest lap. Chooses to respond to Jono. It's obviously going to potentially give Chesney a chance to close into these two as they're scrapping away. And Chesney might then in turn drag Nitro back, and if he's actually we've got a move then, as both the Astons are looking to pounce. He must have done, because that gap was not that close, yeah.
Well, the Danny's going to try to get the position back, but no, he can't make it stick. I think he's going to lose that to the other Aston here.
Oh, Nano resting his way through, but the Astons are operating like sharks. They're just like pouncing on their prey and just swooping through together. They followed themselves through all the way from the back.
Bradley was really low on the RF though, so I think he's going to have to back off it. I would say that, but I think he might have outbraked himself more than not wanting to defend it. But
oh, Nano just very messy through sector 2 there, as Nano almost drives into the side of Brothers, and then ahead Turbo was off the track as well. But they get the job done up to P4 and P5. Nano then looking to stay with these two, but based on the pace at which they zoom past them, Trudeau starts saying that Nano must be absolutely fuming right now. Oh, when he nearly just puts in the wall. But yeah, Nano
as well next up behind him, so
very close ground.
Man, you want hunting you down in the championship fight. Obviously with Cuthbert, when you've already lost a couple of positions.
Oh, and Laurie's going for a big dive down inside. Contact between the pair. Cuthbert still staying ahead for now, though, of the kick reserve driver. I wonder what this means then in terms of the championship. Obviously, Cuthbert had 8 points in the sprint, and then he's looking good for a couple of points. He's obviously looking to push upwards even more in the main races. He's looking to actually get the move done then on Nano now. Complete ERS drain, braking late as well. Is he going to get this to stick? Yeah, I don't think Nano's got anything to fight against that. Yeah, it's not really his race, is it? Yeah, so 3 goes Cuthbert up to P6. 2 positions from his starting position, but that obviously doesn't take into context his how the race unfolded at the start. Clipsy, yes, I'll check DMs after this, I'm afraid. But Nano down 1, started 6th, down to 7th though currently. And everyone outside the top 10 are the people that have had a bit of a stinker, all down places from that starting position. But now it just goes to the pit stops now really. Everything's somewhat settled. It's just whether Laurie can now get past Nano as well. I'm interested to see what happened with Nano, because surely he had a moment for the Astons get so close. I don't think the Astons were within overtaking range as close as they were.
Yeah, I think he must have had a moment to lose the time, and then I'm also interested to see what happens between him and Bradis. I wonder if Bradis did more so.
Yeah, completely forcing Nano off wide, yeah. That could easily be reported. I mean, he just shoved him off track.
No, he's into the pit.
Oh, I don't know whether he had a moment and then just had to pit, or whether that was a planned pit stop. But yeah, Laurie's in then very early at 8.
I think this could be too early, unless you're really going to burn double stop into. I think it's certainly going to be a huge undercut. It's just whether or not he can make it now.
Yeah, it's into. I thought he was going to go back into the wets, but yeah, Laurie then bites the bullet. He's the first man to gamble and then gets the tyres to match the car. Goes on the Inters, still ahead of his. Oh, he's just going to be behind his ghost teammate as well. But yeah, we're going to watch that gap at the back and see what kind of pace Laurie has as well, catching up to Jacob Mike, and he was very tentative through sector 1 there. So I think he would rapidly catch up to the back of him if the Inters have any kind of functionality in these conditions. Yeah, Nitro out of shape through sector 1 as well. So Nano's not catching a break as well, because he's already got another car hot on his heels. Oh, and he's very out of shape with Troy hunting him down next.
And he's showing low on fuel as well at the moment, so I wonder if he's another one who's picked under fuel.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was told from the sprint race they burnt through a lot of fuel up the front, so it's very interesting to see if this is going to be something that helps hangs all throughout the grid of it, isn't it, safety car?
Yeah. I wonder if Troy's going to look for a move. He hasn't got much ERS to fight with, but Nano has got bucket loads as well, though, so it's just whether how much he actually wants to fight in this on-track position. Troy dropping below that 10% margin, that's going to slow his car down, but he's looking for a move up the inside into turn 1, whether he can make it stick. Oh yeah, cuts across Nano, Nano drives into the back of him, but nice and clean move from his side. And that's another position lost then for Nano, unfortunately, so he's going to try and fight it back with his deployment of ERS. Through he goes. Troy going to try and stick around the outside. Oh, I think he's just, fighting another day, yeah. Troy having to settle behind now, and then wait for Nano just to use his ERS, and then he goes again.
I think Troy just needs to recharge it, get a bit of battery, and then he can hold it in the second part really. Because if not, you imagine they're going to just keep swapping back and forth.
Yeah,
and on 100%.
Yeah, Nano was very smart there because he almost let the move done, and then he knew he had 80% ERS just to track. But Troy's got a very good run out of the S's. All very close to the back, nearly completely wipes Nano out. Yeah, I can just tell Troy's getting a bit impatient behind him here, as well as Turbo gets the 3 seconds, so that's slightly hindered his progress. But I just realised in amongst all this though, Kookaburra's very close to the back of the Aston, so he's caught up and showing very good pace to then catch up to the storming green cars shooting through as well. The Lucas Champions then up to 2 seconds up, as well as Troy looks for another run then on Nano down to turn 1.
He's got himself in the same situation though, where he's draining his ERS, but he's got very little left to drain.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to stay behind this lap.
He needs a recharge lap, really. Looking to try and see what Nano does, or try and repeat what Nano did, but obviously doesn't have the ERS then to do the move that Nano did, so Troy's still in P8 for this lap, and it looks to... Oh, I thought he was going to slam into the back of him.
With all this battling going on, Johnny Sunday's caught right to the back of it, so suddenly Johnny Sunday's looking for a move at the inside of square.
And Gremic's not too far away either. They keep fighting. Gremic's just about to go within a 1 second gap of this trio. And it's beautiful for Kookaburra building up some kind of buffer as well behind. Oh, Johnny Cindy very out of shape.
Yeah, I was going to say, him and Troy were just sliding around that sector.
And Kevin Cow's actually made a move as well, further behind, zooming past Nitro's.
Had a moment. He's dropped almost 2 seconds back.
Yeah. Must have had a spin mid S's or just before it. But look at this then, Kookaburra very close to the back of the Astons with a decent amount of ERS, as opposed to Bradders, who's completely used all his deployment. Accidentally downshifts as well, just for the added bonus. Kookaburra within 5/10 now of that rear gunner of Bradders. He drives into his teammate actually there, but it's whether Kookaburra can dispose of these quickly and try and run away with that 3 second pen that he's got currently over his name as well. 9.1 seconds as well, down to 8.9 just through there, but yeah, top 3 very, very clear in this race.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, Kookaburra showed he had the pace of them, but it's going to be too much of a gap to catch because of his qualifying putting him too far down. If you get a move done in a couple of these, and you never know if he's driving back as much as safety car, but without that, you can see almost front 3. Without a mistake from either, then it's going to be sort of done and dusted already.
Yeah, all depends on what the transition looks like, what tyres people go for, because in amongst all this, Laurie is already past Jacob Mykan of 6 seconds adrift of Nitro, so we're keeping on that gap as it continually ticks down just as I'm saying this, down 4 tenths, 5 tenths, as Nitro's struggling on those tyres, and that's not going to help Nano's cause as well of keeping the cars behind. Gets a 3 second penalty. I think Bradders is actually going to go for a mover on his teammate. Around the outside, down the main straight. Tepper doesn't really want to have to fight this because he's fighting in reserve effectively. He was operating his teammate. He's trying to go around the outside to stay ahead. She does do... Oh, they're both in the wall!
Together.
On the
side. They got Kookaburra through doing that.
Wow.
And Bradders is going to pull over and let him back through.
They just need to realise that, I know you're reserving, but, your teammates effectively still, you've given a position for free there to Kookaburra. And based on the pace at which Kookaburra was gaining, you'd expect him just to try and pull away from him as well.
Because of that, there's contact between Troy and that Gremic, so Johnny Sunday must have got through Troy at some point. There's quite a bit of a scratch down to build.
I've just seen Alex has subbed as well. Thank you very much for subbing. It doesn't pop up on screen, please forgive me. But yeah, so Kookaburra already 1.4 seconds up the road as well. 10.8 now the gap between the people who finished 1-2 in the sprint, K1 and Kookaburra now just in a reverse order there. But yeah, crazy scrap thing. behind Nano again, 6.2 seconds drift. Now with that penalty to his name as well. Look how many cars it is. I mean, it's not going to be long really until Kevin Cow's joining this as well. Jundi's getting very impatient, and beautiful move into the final corner. Swoops in on Nano, catches him with his pants down, zoom past him.
But I think that the one thing that did help that though, for some reason it ghosted Nano, so
she just yeah.
Through him as well. I wonder if he's not doing his ERS as much. You know, Nano's held back a hell of a lot of it.
86 bit. I think he likes this move down here, doesn't he? Nano likes to move into turn 4. But he hasn't got a very good exit, and he's not going to be able to do what he was hoping to do.
I'm interested to see what happens between the Aston further up, whether or not Freddy's going to try get through, getting after what happened before or not.
It was very close to the back between the McLarens and Gremick as Chesney's trying to shoot through the order. Troy settling into P10, then that final point position, but Gremick swooping all on the back of him. Already then Laurie's then down to 2.2 seconds as Bradders gets a penalty that could be very key in that scrap. I wonder if that would just mean that Bradders will try and push that extra bit more to actually clear his teammate, or the vice versa, whether he chooses to just settle it down and accept his role as the second Aston today.
I think the thing I'll say though, this entire time he's been right on the back of Turbo, so Turbo's into the pits anyway, so it's not going to matter. Turbo's the next into the pits, we're going to guess if we're going to be printed, but obviously we'll see. But I was about to say, I wonder if, with Bradders just being almost glued to the back of him, if it was worthwhile just letting Bradders go. But
Inters it is, yeah. Inters full Turbo.
He's being held for some reason.
Nah, he's
like on my screen.
Okay, phew. We'll see where... So Laurie's actually come out ahead of Turbo.
He's in quite a battle with the Ferrari of Nitro as well, who was trying to get through.
Look at the braking power. Yeah. Nitro's a bit out of shape through the first couple of corners, and Laurie just clears him already. Up to P12 then for the kick reserve.
But after all the pit stops, that essentially puts Laurie, what, P5?
He's right in the mix, yeah. It all just depends on his tyre life at the end, because he's obviously got an extra 6 laps on these Inters compared to, at the very least, that's just compared to Turbo. Everyone else is going to be on fresher tyres, so at that point, is he just hoping for a safety car or something? To then pit again for
Johnny's in.
2.7 seconds.
Driving in very different conditions for practice, but I don't think the Inters will go that long. We'll see what happens as they involved.
I'm assuming that's Inters as well for Jono. It is, yeah. So again, we're
following him in. And I assume it's to be Inters as well.
Let's see what this gap's like then between. How far is the gap between Jono and Turbo? That's what I want to watch.
Turbo gets a 3-second penalty as well there.
Just in terms of track position, what's the gap? I'll wait and see, because we've got a vast majority of people coming into pit there. Cooper in, obviously, Nano in, Chesney and Nitro in as well. Nitro just coming in for those Inters, just at the back there. But yeah, in terms of the gap through from Jono back to back to his teammate at least. So Laurie jumped Cooper as well, just about. But yeah, it's a 15-second gap from Jono back to that other little trio of Inters runners.
Makes you wonder though, if there seems... I mean, I guess the problem is, obviously in the top left, you only see the top closest 5 drivers, so they won't see the effort that Laurie's made on these Inters. But
yeah.
You've got to think they can't let the... well, really, they can't really let him cook for it, undercut them too much. Same with Jono, so yeah. Lucas Champions, and then K1's going to keep going for now.
Cookbrook gets another 3 seconds. So I'm interested to see what the gap is like between Lucas Champion and Jono. We're going forward with Jono and watch him. He's coming around the final corner now. Where is his gap to Lucas Champion? It was 2.7 seconds before the pits. So what's it looking like now at the pit stops? Oh, it's very close. It's very close. With the overspeed, Jono might be able to make a move into turn 1 here. Completely burnt his ERS as well. Full send into turn 1.
Let's go for it, yeah.
Contact between the pair. Lucas Champion's just going to survive, and with his fresher tyres he might be able just now to compose himself and establish himself now again in the lead. But I feel like once again K1's going to lose out in this front fight because he's stayed out again, even more to the point that he's going to be, I don't know where he's going to be now in relation to into this. Obviously he's not going to be in danger to Laurie's over 10 seconds behind the scrap for the podium.
I think K1 needs to pick this lap to pit. I don't think he can
he has to, yeah,
keep that much longer.
Sliding everywhere as well on these wets. 16 laps done so far. Only got 5 cars left out, and one of them is an AI, so in terms of actual humans controlling cars, you've just got Jacob, Mike and the Gremic, Junior Cindy and K1.
K1 goes on.
Yeah. Bold strat. I mean, it comes with that caveat though of at the end of the race he is going to be on better tyres. But he's going to leave himself a hell of a lot of work to do. Just extended by these 2 laps. I mean, the gap has come, like, it's only already 11.7 seconds, so he's going to be so far adrift off the front.
He's moving across as well in the search for the wet line, so he's clearly struggling with the tyre temp. If Jacob Mykan is in the wall, there's no front wheel. I don't know if I saw Troy got the position, but I don't know if Troy's just gone past him and he was already in the wall or something's happened. But
it's a weird one because that's the end of the S's, so he might have lost it by himself, or there might have been a bit of an overspeed moment from Troy that collected him. So we'll have to see if anything comes from that.
John and Lucas Champion going back at it again. The pair colliding as I think Lucas Champion just about gets it within track limits. And Jono's ahead of them.
But now, yeah, very big fight for the lead then. Gremic as well, it's currently sat people though. This man likes to do his long runs and his extended stints. Obviously chose not to do any kind of pit stop, didn't he, last time we did a wet race, I think. Just whether he opts to do that again. I was in Singapore, wasn't it, I think, but he just did the no stop.
Yeah,
that might have
been, wasn't it?
Yeah, that might have been a cut from Lucas Champion there actually. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously K1 choosing to go on again. But I see Gremic is up behind whether he chooses to come in.
There, Gremic's going to go on. I wonder if he's just going to go in a search for a safety car then.
Yeah.
Troy never 3 things penalty.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag.
I think it's going slow there. I wonder if his teammate comes through. Is Brad just through again?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that looked like to be more of a moment through the stadium somewhere, but yeah. Oh, I wonder if Turbo's got stick drift because he was nearly in the wall on straight.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, he was nearly in the wall when I just cut to him.
Jono and Lucas Champion going at it again then for P2.
Oh, contact as well between the pair. Yeah.
Almost repeat the last lap then with Jono having the inside and he's managed to hold it last lap and does the same.
Yeah. This could get very tasty for the win. Jono obviously not afraid to get his elbows out in fights up at the top end. Lucas Champion though, same thing for him. He's a very fast driver, but he's not afraid to race hard and fair, and he's got a great run as Jono just glides off the track there, gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, and he just completely turns in on Lucas Champion. Yeah,
he didn't spin him though, so the fight can still go on at least. But
yeah, quite lucky in that sense. So we keep going. Advantage Jono as well in terms of ERS around now as well. It's lost a bit of momentum here, half a second back. So even with all this fighting, K1 still lost time to Jono and Lucas Champion. So that says everything you need to about the state of K1's tyres right now. So they must be not enjoying life as they go on to lap 19 of their stint so far. 16 laps left. So wait and see. Lucas Champion losing a slight touch with Jono, obviously still within that 1 second gap for now. It's just ticked over.
Exact same repeat as well further down of Troy, no ERS trying to get through Mano and in the exact same situation. I think he's gonna have enough of seeing the Alpine rear wing come into this one.
It's gonna be distraught from memory. He's gonna be, when we talk to him later, he's not gonna be a happy man. He's gonna be fuming that he's been stuck behind Nano for so long. But yeah, this could get very tasty. I mean, if that penalty can't come off for Jono, I can't imagine him dropping Lucas Champion. That's up to 9 seconds now, isn't it?
Or could throw a 3-second penalty as a yellow flag somewhere. Someone knocked it in yesterday. Is that an accident? I wonder if that's Turbo again being thrown off by his picture. So it's gotten a couple of weeks in a row.
Okay, one's finally in then. So we'll see how far back this sends K1. He's holding himself in the box again. And whether it's just a glitch or not, I mean, hopefully it was. But it looked like he was literally stationary for so long in the box. So he just fully... Let me see then. If he's going to be just ahead of Laurie, that just shows the rate in which Laurie is sending through, but... Turbo, look how much ground Turbo's lost. I've just realised he's passed Jundi as well, and it looks like Chesney's going to get past him. I wonder if this man is just struggling with his analogs glitching around. Chesney trying to get the move done. Don't think he's going to get it done now. It's just a shame because Turbo's been showing some good pace with Bradders trying to cut through, and they've done very well up until this point. But technical issues look to have got the better of Turbo slightly, so we'll see if that can stabilise hopefully. So 12.6 seconds the gap then from K1 back. Well, he is back behind the front two. So it's whether he can make any kind of dent in these last couple of laps. And first, I'm interested to see if Laurie can even get to the end on these inters. 15 more laps on these inters is a stretch to say the least.
Not just that, I'm also interested to see what happens with Graham Chesney and Kevin Cow, all flashing low fuel with no safety car. They're getting very deep in the race and almost, I think if there was going to be one, you'd probably think it would have happened by now, but you never know as the tyres begin to wear if something's going to happen.
Yeah, obviously it was close to being no safety car with Luke, Jacob Mike had it going into the wall, but no safety car, no BSC, no nothing when that collision happens as Chesney's past Turbo down the main straight. Turbo's in the pits.
Nana gets a 3-second penalty.
I am assuming that's just technical issues again, which is a shame because that's 2 weeks running then for Turbo after what was looking to be a very good result.
So if Laurie pitted now, he'll stay just within inside the points, I believe. So even if he did have to pit, he'll still be getting something from the race. But you'd imagine he's going to try what he can to get these as far to the end as possible, if not all the way there.
Yeah, I wonder how long. Like that's the thing. We obviously don't know what his tyre wear is looking like, but yeah, I can't imagine those would just get to the end. So he's probably hoping for a safety car, but I don't think that's going to come. I might just jinx it. I'm just in Cookborough very, very close to the back of Laurie, and hits a beautiful switchback going into the stadium. But I don't think he's going to make it stick because Laurie's trying to wrestle him round. He does though. Trying a bit of wheel locking. Oh, contact again between them, even more. Laurie turned in, flicked him round as we've got another move just cutting round past that. The other B Cub's trying a little switchback on Lucas Champion though, gets the inside going through turn 2. Oh, very close between the front pair. John is nearly in the wall then as he gets a massive slide coming out of turn 3. It's going to be on the outside, they're going down into sector 2 and turn 4. Trying another little switchback. Drop behind. And he's going
to be close enough to even try to get back to the inside line here, so
nearly off the track. Lucas Champion then retakes the lead, and he hasn't got the 3-second penalty, which is the most important thing here. Oh, Lucas Champion
has a huge moment in the S's.
Nearly did a K-mag, nearly fully in the wall as they try and go side by side through the S's.
Yeah, I think Johnny does the correct thing there and realises time just to back out. Although he's going to go for it here using some ERS.
No, thinks better of it. Yeah. But wow, okay, the race is certainly not done then. Just when you think it's going to settle into some kind of normality, straight back there with a little slide. And Fist Paul in the chat saying that trust me, K1 will win. I mean, just look at the gap now, down to 9.8 seconds. So just in these last couple of laps, when K1's pitted, he's done 2 laps on these inters and he's knocked 2 seconds off their gap. So, and Toba's left. So let's hope that doesn't glitch the lobby at all. But I think it's looking okay so far. But that gap 9.3 then, down to K1 already. Grimmick as well, worth saying, Grimmick still yet to pit. 23 laps and low on fuel. Tip us to go, that's a shame.
See, this is the one thing as well that they have to be wary of. If K1 is getting through, is they can't just keep scrapping this out, otherwise but it's going to backfire on Jono if he's the one with the penalty. So
yeah.
Definitely jump in. Unless they missed that, Troy got through Nano at one stage, but I mean, again, Nano's back through on this road. Exact same scenario.
Troy's got a bit more to fight with though, and he's got a very good exit at turn 3. But Nano's just got more, hasn't he? He's going to have to send it, and look, he's back under 10%, trying to scrap. Go on, Troy, send it, send it.
I think Nano's going to need to turn it off for a lap, because again, you know, look, Nano's just going to keep the speed today.
I'm just going to flick the grid there and see who is showing low on fuel. We've got Kevin Cowell, who ran out of fuel in the sprint. You've got Chesney, Gremick, and that's it. So you've got 3 cars then. 3 cars looking very short on fuel currently at this stage. So, and no safety cars. 25 laps deep into this race. 11 laps left, no safety car yet, and some people will be screaming for a safety car. Gremick in particular would love a safety car right now. I think just as this is happening, it looks like Jacob Maikan is about to be lapped, as he's got the duo of Lucas Champion and Jono coming up behind him now.
If he knows, obviously there's no DRS in this anyway, so he's not going to be doing DRS.
Yeah.
Hopefully he just knows, he'll get out of the way so no one likes going through this.
Yeah, just throws you off. .8 seconds down, so that's another second that K1's managed to knock off. Yeah, Jacob
Maikan did the right thing.
Six tenths continually between the front two. 8.7 seconds behind, and then Kookaburra a further 7.8 behind, but he does have a hefty amount of penalties that to his name, I believe, hasn't it? 9 seconds. So what's that going to look like in terms of where he's going to drop? 89. I mean, that's only going to lose him a couple of positions. That's going to move him around Gremick. Gremick's yet to pit, so Kookaburra's still on for points, but I mean, he might still be able to have the gap over Bradders as well if Bradders drops down a little bit.
I was going to say, I suppose it all goes down to this 3-second thing from the first lap. If anything comes from that, is Troy's going to go side by side with Nano. There's Sandler's contact made. I think Troy's going to be ahead into the hairpin and has the inside line trying to make it hold. And I think he's through before the straight this time.
I mean, the thing I will say, that Nano has 90% of his DRS. So you imagine he's just going to fly back faster.
And Kevin Carroll's in the exact same situation, able to absolutely dump his DRS if he wants to try that. I
mean, yeah, look at Nano.
So Choice dropped behind below that 10% mark again, so
there he goes.
Nano straight through.
Nightmares. Nightmares. The Troy then. Through he goes then again, but Jono with another 3-second penalty. That's surely the win gone then. 6 seconds of pens. That's put, honestly, this is heavy danger now for Jono to K1. Because I'd imagine that K1's going to be within 6 seconds. 10 more laps of running. I think K1's going to be within 6 seconds. This could get very interesting. I mean, it just depends how Jono now chooses to fight Lucas Champion out front as well. I don't know if Lucas Champion's got any penalties. I don't know if that's worth checking if you get a chance. But I mean, even if he gets one, that's still giving him the advantage. Even if Jono wants to get a penalty removed, he's obviously still got those 3 seconds to his name as well.
Bradders is right on the back of Kookaburra as well. Someone come out of the pit for Was it? Lloyd.
Oh, it was Geordie. Yeah, Geordie lapped car. There's Ghost.
Oh, okay.
Still half a second. K1
Yeah, but
8.4
Fred is
seconds.
through then this time on Kookaburra, so that's a move that's been done further back. Although they're both on the OS trying to go at it into the second chicane. What can Kookaburra do? He makes slight contact. Side by side for the exit. Yeah, but it's on the inside line, so typically you usually see Kookaburra drop back here.
Yeah, which he does, yeah. For now, anyway.
Kevin Cowan's off. Oh, Nano and Troy go across the grass. Troy gets 3 second penalty for cutting it. But I think that would probably be removed due to contact, but what caused the contact we'd have to see.
These two just won't leave each other alone, were they? As Kevin Cowson swooped in, he's trying to peek up the pieces, but again, Kevin Cowson
true, no one switchback on Nano as well.
Violated him. Nano out of nowhere he makes contact with the back of the Ferrari, but yeah, Nano in amongst all this, regardless of what happened, flies past Nitro under traction. Nitro, yeah, loses that position there.
Jimmy Sunday's hit the back of Graham.
Oh, Troy's had a moment. Troy's had a moment coming out of the S's that picked up a 3 second after going wide. It's him off again then. Him and Nano obviously reaping the pain of their little contact that they've just had. Now, the question that I want to know is Gremick going to pit, or is he actually choosing to go to the end on these wets?
I think at this point he's probably going to try to at least get to the end.
That's sicko. Get this man on drive of the day again. He's a sicko. He sees that he doesn't have to pit in the wets and he just goes, alright, yeah, cool. See you at the finish line, boys. I mean, he's getting slightly small.
He has to gap 2 pit and stay inside the points this time.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's more looking at, I guess it depends really, doesn't it? Because you look at the gap that he's got with Jindy Sunday. I mean, Jindy Sunday's the only person that he might be able to have with the penalty, but if Jindy Sunday gets past him, he's going to clear him.
He's going to clear him here. Yeah, here it goes.
In 3 steps, I mean, it's going to try, but yeah, I imagine the gap is just going to go up and up.
Find him, I think I've realised you might lose a fifth to Chesney as well, and almost just pit and make sure you protect sort of the point. But on he goes. He just loves doing his no stops.
Through he goes up. Bro does not want to pit.
He wants to stop patching at the rate he was then originally, as they've stopped fighting as much up top, so he's got 7.5 seconds to do in the last few laps.
1.7 seconds in 7 laps, that's all he needs. And then he can have a P2, he can...
Of course, forgot about the penalties, yeah.
Yeah, 6 seconds obviously to his name, so... K1, it's just whether he can get 1.7 seconds in that time. But it's just going to be close. I mean, it's somewhat stabilised now, so it's going to be quite hard. I think he's going to do it. If I had to predict, I think K1's going to just nab Jono on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I think he's going to get within that penalty gap. Further down then, so Chesney's fuel light has gone off, so he'll be okay for fuel. Gremick and Kevin Callis still showing low.
The issue with Gremick is he doesn't have that position of, oh yeah, I'm going to come into the pits and that might somewhat give me a buffer. You know, if he's choosing to do a no stop, whatever his fuel light is saying, it's only going to move downwards from here, you'd expect. So we'll have to see.
But I suppose from what we saw with Chesney, because he was showing low after the pit, you do regain some normally in the wet conditions. But
I guess it just depends on the driving as well. Obviously, this game's obviously a bit more prominent in terms of driver methods and how they how that affects your tyre wear, etc. I'll have to see. Yeah, and the gap, just another lap on, then that gap with K1 8.1 seconds. So it's going to be close. He might have missed his opportunity, and Jono might be safe for that P2. Further down then, what have we got? We've got the McLaren's just fighting, well, right at the back end of the points. It's weird how that's all happened. And so Troy, out of all that, it's now 20 seconds adrift of Chesney. So what's happened
Yeah,
here?
they were right by each other. I suppose it's just the fighting that him and Nana were going through, and then
yeah,
I think Chesney had a lap undercut as well that just helped clear them both.
just such a drastic increase in the gap. It's just painful, isn't it, for them just to think that they've lost that much time in those conditions. 21 seconds to even just do there. He's lost a bit of time. Drill in the chat saying that Nano has had a horror race. I mean, yeah, we'll have a look at position changes. Nano down 7, Chesney down 4 after his good qualifying, Gremic down 4 after this man is choosing some Hail Mary struts of the one stop. The real winner in amongst all this would have been the two Astons. Unfortunately, Turbo either had the technical issues or just simply had to leave. But that's Barretta's then up 12 positions, started literally last place after invalidating his one shot. And then the front three though, I mean, you can't really fault what they've done, kept it incredibly consistent, and they have not changed positions at all.
Was Jono P3 or P4 in the sprint in the end?
P3, we got P3 in the sprint.
So I believe this gap will come down to 12 points for them in the championship battle. Chesney's the latest to get through in Gremic. But yeah, so after this it would be, with Mike View not around today, I think the gap will come down to 12 points, with, assuming Jono gets this P2. But it's fair to say with Mike View coming back, hopefully they can both make the end of the season and have a proper sort of title battle on for the last couple of races.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, Mighty Boo missed the last. Did he miss last week as well? Has he missed 2 now?
I think it was alternating weeks, wasn't it? I think Jono might have missed last week and Mighty Boo was there the week before. Yeah, because it was Coker last week, wasn't it? So yeah, it was Mighty Boo versus Christopher on the final lap.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he just missed. He missed one earlier, didn't he? So that's 2 missed from Mighty Boo. So that's what's allowed it to kind of somewhat get a bit closer. But yeah, obviously it's going to be a bit closer going into these final 2 races. Then I feel like it's going to be all hands on deck for the front couple. Gremic's flicking between running. I think he's going to be on the line. I think Gremic's just going to make it.
Yeah, if that's the case over the next couple of laps, I think Gremic would be final fuel. Kevin Cow's then the only one left. Oh, and his light's flashing as well. So I assume they've all. There's a yellow flag there. Nano.
Oh, it's virtual safety car.
Nano's lost it. Yeah, he's lost his wing. It's at least part of the end plate. I wonder if he's going to have to box them.
Surely, I mean.
Yeah, both end plates. Yeah.
Oh, Nano. Is he going to call it a day in the pits?
Well, if there was any doubt on fuels, he's staying out.
Ah,
it's interesting.
Yeah. Alex is asking how is Jono, a Tier 1 driver, allowed to race in Tier 2? So he started the season in Tier 1. In Tier 2, sorry, yeah, same with Mighty Boo, same with Troy, who've all now got the joint roles of Tier 1 and Tier 2. So the reason that Jono and Mighty Boo are still racing in Tier 2 is because by the time that a decision was made in terms of them switching, it was too deep in the season, and it was unfair then to just pull the rug out under their feet. And so they've been able to finish the season out and continue their title battle at the front together. And then we can start the next season fresh with, hopefully we don't have to move anyone around to such dramatic levels.
Yeah, I think you know, said it quite a few times. Next season they're both equal.
Yeah, I think it's self-explanatory. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just watching this. The VSC might catch 1 or 2 out, especially in wet conditions. I mean, we've come cropper to it. Oh, I thought that was someone getting it done. As long as he's using it to pit. And it's just ended. So, Jacob gets one. Someone was going to get one. Yeah. No, someone else got one. Troy got one, and Bradders got one. Bradders getting one is big then because he's going to drop behind Kookaburra, and Kookaburra has 9 seconds. Bradders got 6 if I remember correctly. Wow. So that might have given Kookaburra a free position in amongst this, because look, that's Bradders literally just there, just up the road from him. Wow. Bradders in amongst all that, and then Bro's had such a good race so far, and he might have thrown away this P4 that he's built brick by brick.
I think Laurie's been very unfortunate. Obviously, he's opted to go in and pit to get rid of these insights. He's been running for ages, and the BSC seemed to end as he'd entered the pit.
Oh yeah, it's literally as he did it.
So what looked like it would have been a cheap pit stop, he's ended up sort of losing a full amount of time. Gremic, on the other hand, stayed out in all of this, so being these wets do get to the end.
Jacob might come in within 3 seconds. I mean, yeah, I guess that was just coming into the pits as well, which is even painful. Just adding.
I think he's going to sit out and go on to the end, to be fair to the guy.
Jacob's saying, can he go into the pits on the last lap? No, I don't think you can. I think it will DSQ or give you a 20-second pen.
Yeah, you get 20 seconds if you don't serve it, so I think you've done the right thing to get it down.
Yeah, just get out of the way. No harm in it.
It's going to be a tough one coming up and sort of reserving for the first time in the wet sprint. Never going to be the easiest place to start off with.
Yeah. So we've got big gaps open up through the fields. We'll keep an eye on what Bradders does then. Like, who else got one? Troy got one as well. Yeah, so he's in the pits. Troy's having to surface, unfortunately. Oh no, this is going to bring him up close to Nano, I just realised. I think he'd be safe.
I think he's going to be fine because, yeah, Nano's struggling with the damage. If not, then he certainly can't join the Alpine rear wing at this point. Yeah, he's at the exit.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, you might have a bit of motor speed in though. Oh no. But yeah, so
no idea, is it?
we'll see what Bradders does. I'm assuming Bradders is going to pit this lap, unless he's just going to see the checkered flag.
K1 fastest lap. He's upping his pace then.
He's very close.
Just what has he got left? And this is the other thing, that if he was going to be able to slowly tick it down, he's obviously lost sort of a bit lap time with that BSC, so it's just what he's got left in these tyres to push on.
Bradders choosing to stay out again then, so he's not opted to, I mean, unless he's trying to go to the checker flag and take a penalty, but I don't see why he would do that.
This lap. Yeah,
he has
it's
to.
Less of a loss just to dive into the pit.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, just might as well get it done. I wonder if Gremic's gonna get passed by Laura in the last lap as well, because that's rapidly going down. The tyre advantage that Gremic's got, that Laurie's got on Gremic is ridiculous. She should fly past them.
Yeah, you need 3 seconds a lap then, because we've only the 2 left. So.
Yeah. Right, so K1 needs a lap then. He needs 1 second this last lap on Jono to stand a chance at this P2. Half a second gap between. I wonder if Jono's going to try and go for this on track, because that gap has gone slightly down. Troy's in the pits again.
Yeah, I don't know why Troy's gone back.
Is he going for a fastest lap?
And he's mistimed this because it's now the final lap. So.
Oh, but is that the final lap for him, or is? I don't know if they're. I think they're just going. I think they've just been lapped actually, so I don't think he's going to get that chance. Oh no.
Yeah, if they are on the last lap, then they've been lapped.
Yeah, so Brad is serving his
that is the case. So yeah, he won't have a push to find the fastest lap.
Through goes Kookaburra then. Kookaburra takes P4 from Bradders, and he is going to be able to hold off that cushion despite having 9 seconds of penalties. So it's now the gap back to Ginny Sunday for him, and whether he can hold off. I don't think he is. Ginny Sunday's got a pen as well though, so
Laurie gets one, so even if he gets past in Gremic, which he brought the gap down nicely, he's not going to hold that position.
Oh, Lucas Champion's absolutely dropping. Joining this last lap, trying to make a statement and fully pull away. So it's been a great drive from Lucas Champion. Obviously got pole by a margin, choosing to do it on the wets as opposed to other couple of cars doing it on the inters. And he hasn't really looked in any real danger. Had a couple of scraps here and there with Jonna, but always looked to have kept him just at arm's reach as well. Battled away. They've done what they needed to do with K1 pitting after as well, just keep their pace up. And I think this is going to be his first win in Tier 2 then. Lucas Champion comes around the final corner and he wins in a wet Mexico. 1.6 second gap above Jonna. That's going to go up to 7.5. And K1's going to have him here, you know. It's going to be very close.
He is. He's 7.5 back, isn't he? He's feeling
oh yeah. 1.6 seconds back.
Troy sped into the pit lane now.
Oh no, 10 seconds.
I don't know what's going on there.
I think there's been some slight head loss in the Ewok camp. But now it's just, I think Kookaburra should be P4 then. because of penalties with Junusini as well behind. So we just watch as he crosses the line. Yeah, Junusini comes P5, 1.4 seconds off Kookaburra, so great recovery drive after that instant lap one from Kookaburra to somewhat stabilise the fight in the championship. I don't know what that gap's going to look like with him and his teammate, because obviously
2 points gap to Mighty Bill, I can tell you that.
Oh, okay, so literally all to play for in these final two races. Brazil, then Vegas, so only 2 weeks left to season 7. Plenty left to decide. As unfortunately, we've had a couple of lap cars there. Kevin Cow, I think he's low on fuel. I think he's just crossed the line. I know he's just Nitro left to finish. I don't know if Kevin Cow ran out of fuel in the end. Nitro is out of fuel, as he's going to be the last car. I did get lapped, but last on track, coming through to bring him P11. Unfortunately, just misses out. His Laurie's retired, unfortunately, before, so that's going to be a bit of a pain to try and reinstate him into his position. But yeah, Laurie obviously securing points there as well. Nitro bringing home P11, and Bradis getting the in-game driver for the day. Wow. One of those weird ones where you have a bit of a spread out grid, but it still has some good, interesting, tasty squabbles amongst the pack. It's Lucas Champion then that wins. I think it's his third, if I'm right in saying, I think that's his third win in HOR, the first one in Tier 2. I'll quickly double check that so I actually get the stats right for him. Yeah, first win in Tier 2. First pole position as well coming into this weekend as well, so Mexico where has looked very nice for Lucas Champion. Obviously coming into this, he'd had 3 poles and 2 wins in Tier 3. So the Tier 3 man's finally been able to step up, and he's been on a constant surge in the second half of the season, and it's been a solid point haul. They flick back through the results of the sprint in case they don't miss the sprint.
I think Laurie's making a good point as well. I don't think many people would have predicted no safety car in a wet sprint race.
Yeah, exactly. Across both sessions, yeah. Which is crazy when you think about it. Jacobs saying that he was actually under the Delta and they still gave it the drive-through, so it's going to be one of those ones.
There's a good point being made in Tier 2. I think RB will be Constructors Champions, so well done to Cooper and Jono. Yeah,
if that's the true, yeah, obviously that will all get fully announced tomorrow. If that's actually the case, I'll quickly see if we can catch you in and out with Pit Cuts. But yeah, VCARB obviously had a big lead coming into this, and it was on the cusp whether they could finally get it across the line or not here, and it looks, yeah, might be the case then that they actually have made that stick as well. But yeah, that's that then. Round 10 complete. On to round 11. Obviously we've got Brazil next week. I think from when I looked at it, I think it's meant to be dry, if anyone's wondering about the weather for next week. So fingers crossed we can go back to dry running in Tier 2 and Tier 1. Let's hope for Tier 1 dry. But yeah, on to Tier 1 next in half an hour or so. If you're interested in watching that, please come along. And then if anyone's listening yet to sign up for the new season, obviously sign-ups are open if you go into the Discord and fill that form up. Grids are filling up nicely as well, so feel free to chuck your sign-up through and we can check that and see how that goes. But yeah, please stick around for Mr. Wildstorm treating you for a mixed condition race in Tier 1 Mexico, which should be a good fun. Close fight at the front of the championship as well. And then if you're just interested in Tier 2, we'll see you next week.